So I want to start by welcoming the governor, the lieutenant governor, Mayor Bronin, Deputy Commissioner Bartolomeo, Commissioner Durantes, Alex Johnson from one of our long-term partners, Capital Workforce Partners, OPP board members, staff, youth, and community partners. We are pleased to welcome you all to our piece of the pie to highlight the youth employment opportunities that will become available through the expansion of the Connecticut Youth Employment Program, made possible through the governor's authorization of funds from the Coronavirus Relief Act. As the largest facilitator of youth employment in the Hartford area, our piece of the pie is dedicated to supporting and empowering young people. These additional investments that we will be discussing today in our work will not only help youth learn the critical workforce skills needed to become successful adults, but also will provide them with much needed income so that they can support themselves and their families while they prepare themselves for the world of work. Here at our piece of the pie, we believe in the potential of every young person who walks through our doors. The perseverance and adaptability of our young people over the last year has been nothing short of inspiring. We strive to be the voice of the unheard, the supporters of those who cannot find the means and methods to support themselves, and the facilitators of opportunities that are often hidden and not readily presented to our young people. With a value of youth first, our goals for the young people here at our piece of the pie are straightforward. Achieve a high school diploma, achieve a post-secondary degree or vocational credential, and secure meaningful employment at a sustainable wage. As we move forward towards a post-pandemic new normal, we at our piece of the pie remain committed to youth employment as part of our long-term goals for our young people. While a job and an employment are vital components of a successful adulthood, we know that young people need holistic supports to develop a growth mindset, set and achieve goals for the future, and develop their voice for advocacy and for change in the communities that they live in. Meeting youth where they are and helping them to address their barriers, recognize their strengths and skills, and navigate their challenges set young people up for success in both education and employment. Our piece of the pie is convinced that with intentional supports and developmental learning and activities, we can ensure that young adults will succeed in their current place while preparing for their bright futures ahead. Thank you. And with that, I would like to introduce Mayor Bronin.
Thank you so much, Hector, and thank you to our piece of the pie for hosting today. And welcome, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and many distinguished guests to Hartford for this announcement. I just want to share with you just a little bit about where you are. Hector said a little bit, but he's also always modest. Our piece of the pie does extraordinary work. And they do many things: education, youth employment, preparation for the workforce. They're so good. When we came to them 5 years ago and said, we want to build something brand new. We want to build a youth service corps in Hartford, putting hundreds of kids to work. And we want to build it in a couple of months, and we want you to do it. They stood up, said yes, and they've done something unprecedented. And I see a bunch of our youth service corps members, and Governor, if it's okay with you, I'd like to ask those youth service corps members who are here to come on up. We're thrilled and lucky to have our piece of the pie, but we're also thrilled and lucky to have a number of incredible youth-serving organizations throughout our community, throughout our state, as well as employers who are committed to the mission of helping prepare our young people for the workforce. And let me just pause for a second. Governor, this is our just one piece. We got about 250 members of our youth service corps, but this is just a little representation of our outstanding youth service corps. And let's give them a round of applause. Come over to this side so the governor can still see. Like I said, our piece of the pie is phenomenal, but we've got a number of phenomenal organizations here in Hartford and around the state. And their work is always vital, because one of the most important things we can do in this state is prepare our next generation for work, for meaningful contributions to our community and to our economy, and for building the lives that they want to lead. And that has always been important, but it has never been more important than now after this year of incredible disruption, after this year of isolation, economic change and transformation. But we also have an opportunity right now. It's the opportunity of rallying even more resources and more partners together around this mission of preparing our young people for their future. And that's why we're so grateful to the state, Governor, to you and your team for making additional resources available statewide to strengthen those wraparound services for the youth employment programs around the state, and for adding a number of other elements to that summer work. In Hartford, we're doing our part to try to match that. We have long put in $1 million each year to summer youth employment. Through our use of our American Rescue Plan, over the next 3 years, each year we'll put $2.5 million more to youth-serving organizations and an additional $1 million each year for youth employment specifically. And our hope is that, combined with the resources, Governor, that you and your team have made available, and combined with the generous support of so many philanthropic donors and others, for the first time, we'll come close. We can't commit to getting there, but I think we'll come close this summer to being able to provide a job opportunity to every kid who seeks one, every kid who asks for one. Our goal should be to make sure that we do it for everyone, but we're going to get as close as we can this year, and that really, really matters. So, again, with a big thank you to OPP for hosting, to Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and all of your extraordinary administration for helping us in this work and committing to this work, and most especially to the young people who you see up here today, who represent the best of our city and are working so hard every day to build the lives they want to lead. Thank you all. I have to give one other shout out to Kim Oliver in our department for children, families, youth, and recreation, who's leading this work on our part. But again, Governor, thank you. This is such important work, and more important now than ever. And with that, it's an honor to turn this over to the Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Labor, Dante Bartolomeo. Deputy Commissioner.
Someday we won't have to do that. So thank you. I'm Dante Bartolomeo, and on behalf of Commissioner Westby, I would like to thank you, Hector Rivera, and your entire Our Piece of the Pie team for hosting us here today and for all of the great things that you do. And Governor Lamont, thank you very much for being here to see this collaboration and to support it in such a generous way. The Connecticut Youth Employment Program operates year-round to connect young people up to the age of 24 with jobs. Meaningful jobs that help build professional networks, gain valuable work experience, and improve their resumes. Each year, the Department of Labor and our partners at the Department of Children and Families work very closely with our workforce development boards to offer young people a chance to create new contacts, to learn new skills, and to build on the future. When I was in high school, I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, 6 to 6 every Saturday morning. I earned a small income, but my parents' rule was that I had to put some of that away. But the experience was more than just, my job and how much money I earned. But I became part of the workforce and the economy, and I became someone who was accountable to a boss and to my coworkers, and I developed a sense of myself. And I wanted people to depend on me and to trust me to do even more. And the Connecticut Youth Employment Program does this for young people, too. It gives them a place to start, but it also connects them to a whole network of services. Thanks to Governor Lamont's $2 million CARES Act allocation, the program will serve thousands of young people this year. This additional funding will provide mental health trainings for youth workers and case managers. It'll expand support services like transportation and food assistance. We can expand youth peer mentors, youth outreach, employer engagement specialists, remove barriers to participation, especially for marginalized youth. Building in equity, diversity, and inclusion now means that these young workers will contribute to their communities, the economy, and build a stronger future. I want to take a minute to thank all of the youth employment staff at CTDOL, especially Lisa Simontelli, who's here with me, as well as all of our partners. They are all bringing up the next generation of workforce with a genuine commitment to youth and to their future, and therefore our future. We appreciate all that they do, and thank you very much. I'd like to bring forward Commissioner Durantes.
Thank you so much, Deputy Commissioner Dante Bartolomeo. It's hard to get all of that out. But Governor Lamont, that commitment to making sure that across state agencies we work in collaboration with each other could not be more evident with the Department of Labor. We have for years worked in conjunction on youth employment, and it's not just summer youth employment. As Hector talked about, all of the different things that they do here at Our Piece of the Pie, the commitment from this organization and others just like it really are the backbone of our society. We are so fortunate to have a governor that has put families first. I am so excited to be up here with these young people. These are my people, and they are the next ups. So it's my job to make sure that we are not just keeping the seat warm, but we are providing them with opportunities to learn time management, critical thinking, budgeting, responsibility, all of that's right inside of them that they're ready to be able to unleash onto the world. It's our job as the adults around them to lift them up and give them what they need to be able to be the next up. So I am so excited to be here with all of you, and I'm excited to work for an administration that puts Connecticut's families first. Not just some families, but all families. This is an area of equity. This is an area of making sure that all families thrive. The pandemic did not stop us. It slowed us down, but our young people are the ones that are going to propel us forward to a better Connecticut on the other side of this. And with that, I'm going to stop talking because after you hear from our partners in the Workforce Bureau, you hear from some of our young people who are really here to be the stars of and to tell you what they've been doing. So I will hand the mic to Alex from the Capital Region Workforce Development to be able to kind of talk about the partnership to make sure that these youth employment experiences happen.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Mayor, Hector, and all our distinguished guests. I'm really proud and pleased to be here this morning to be a part of this announcement. Again, I'm Alex Johnson. I'm President and CEO of Capital Workforce Partners. Capital Workforce Partners is the Regional Workforce Development Board for the 37-town region of the Greater Hartford area. We're working in partnership with the Department of Labor to administer this youth program. And our challenge this year has been the fact that as we're beginning the process to work with our community-based organization partners, we're seeing far more young people who need this opportunity than we have resources to provide. And we're beginning to have a waiting list of individuals. In some of our municipalities, we have up to 5 individuals per slot that we have available. So this news this morning is really gratifying to know that there's a commitment to our young people to provide them with the meaningful work experiences, to provide them with the supports that they need to sort their career goals. From Capital Workforce Partners perspective, you have to be able to connect education with work. That's how we're going to build the future workforce. So the work that OPP does, our other providers do, is really grounding and ensuring that our young people understand the notion and the connection between education and careers, the connection between education and work, and begin to think about what their career goals and how best to actualize those goals. So this program is really vital in terms of ensuring that the young people of not just this region, but for the state to really have these opportunities, I think is essential. I'd also just want to note one other point. This is also a question, as one of the speakers mentioned, this is a question of equity. Because as we look at the data, far too many young people have suffered disproportionately through this pandemic. So the notion of being able to respond to that crisis and create what now is a crisis to create opportunities for our young people is really vital and essential. So I'm really pleased on behalf of the youth of our region to say thank you, Governor, and thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for your commitment to the young people of this community to ensure that they have both the direct supports, but as we're also seeing the necessary behavioral health supports, the wraparound supports, all of the necessary supports that they need to effectively connect themselves back into the labor market. So I'm really excited to be here in support of this. And also, Governor, I'd just like to thank you because you've also made a commitment to workforce development generally in this state, and you've made CARES Act funding available to support those individuals who've been affected by the pandemic. So, so your commitment to ensuring that individuals in this state have opportunities to get the skills they need to compete for good jobs, I really want to applaud that commitment of you. And again, I'm just pleased to be here to support this effort, and thank you.
Next up is Tremaine. What's your last name again?
Stamps.
Stamps. And Tremaine is a alumni of our Piece of the Pie, and he's here to talk to you about what this has meant to his life. So Tremaine, take it away.
So, I'm a little nervous, but let's rock out.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
So, thank you to all who came out today, and thank you for this opportunity to tell my story and how OPP has helped me to get where I am today. I'm just a dude from the community here. Without OPP, I'd be like many others in my neighborhood. Their mindset is just blah, blah, blah. They don't need places like OPP, but they do. For OPP to be in the middle of the hood, I find it brilliant. I go outside of my house, I don't see people going to work, I don't see people with direction, I see poverty. And you can't learn from that. In 2016, I first came to OPP for a summer job. I read the newspaper and I saw an ad for summer jobs for youth. So I went to OPP, and in days I had a job at the Salvation Army after school homework club, working with elementary age kids. That was just the beginning. The job lasted for a year. If they liked you during the summer, they would ask you to stay on. But OPP didn't stop with just a job, with just a first job. My YDS supported me with everything. They gave me clothes so I could go to work. They supported me as I enrolled at Capital Community College, and my YDS helped me get my driver's license. They believed in me, and I started to believe in myself. After I finished my associate's degree, I took a year off. Without the support of OPP, I probably honestly never would have gone back to school. But my YDS kept talking about school and other opportunities and getting me to think about the future. Those random calls telling me to stay strong, how can we help, and what do you need really kept me going. There was a first-year student orientation at Central where you would get a $1,000 scholarship if you go. She got me clothes, helped me get ready, and she drove me up there. While we were there, she introduced me to the admissions director. Now I have a job in the admissions office while I'm working towards a degree in sociology. While I'm working towards a degree in sociology and a minor in psychology. I have to tell you, this last year has been rough. The transition to remote school was difficult, almost impossible. That first remote semester was my worst ever. The math classes were overwhelming, and I wanted to give up. The support of OPP helped me through, and last semester was one of my best ever. With only 13 credits left, I should graduate next year. Working with those little kids at Salvation Army, as well as service projects for the community, helped me to see possibilities for a career in human services. One of my favorite memories from OPP is that they took me to my first NBA game. I never thought I would get the chance to see professional basketball. Knicks vs. Hawks. It was the Knicks vs. Hawks. We went on the train to NYC. I had never done anything like that before. Something I never would have done without OPP. So if you're looking for programs in the city of Hartford to fund, OPP is the one.
before I introduce the next young person, I just have to say, Hector, Tremaine talked about the YDSs, and that's the Youth Development Specialists. Is that the right acronym? They are life-changing. Thank you, YDSs. Good job. So the next outstanding young person you will hear from is Luciana. She will also tell you her experience in the workforce development programs.
Thank you for the introduction, Commissioner. It is such an honor to speak in front of all of you about my experiences with the Eastern Connecticut Workforce Board Summer Youth Employment and CARES Act funding. Wow, that's a mouthful. I have so much in my life because of these programs, and thank you would be such an understatement. I started my internship with Norwich Human Services in early 2020 before the pandemic struck. As the world shut down, I was afraid that my career prospects would also. Boy, was I wrong. EastCon provided me with so many resources for professional development. I spent March 2020 to June 2020 acquiring multiple certifications in Microsoft Excel through the Metrics program. I spent the summer working behind the scenes of summer youth employment, tracking down applications and tax forms, and tabulating databases. As boring as that sounds, it was amazing. I loved that I could contribute to helping kids, helping and empowering themselves through this amazing program, providing the tools and resources needed to forge the career pathway of success, however that may look. I forged my own pathway during the fall internship through the CARES Act with the Area Health Education Center. Here, I earned a certification in contact tracing through Johns Hopkins University, the first of many diplomas I hope to receive from prestigious universities. Along with contact tracing, I participated in the Health Careers Exploration Program, where I discovered a career that I want to pursue through the virtual job shadow. Health Geoinformatics. Yeah, when I first heard of it, I was as puzzled and confused as all your furrowed eyebrows show. But I was also fascinated. This revolutionary field uses GPS technology and data tracking to record and predict the spread of disease, which right now is pretty useful. It combines data processing, healthcare, and helping people, all great passions of mine. I plan to pursue this field next year through studying at Simmons University, majoring in public health and economics. So I've gotten a reputation for excelling at Excel, and then landed an internship with the Thames Valley Council of Community Action, where I created a categorized database of COVID-19 resources, especially for case workers in the Eastern Connecticut region. This project was empowering, using data and technology to help hundreds of families in need, all because some committees at the Department of Labor gave me a chance. This summer, I am now working as a staff member at Norwich Human Services for summer youth employment, tracking down applications and tax forms, tabulating databases, and most importantly, teaching youth to seize every opportunity to improve their lives, as I was blessed with to improve mine. It's very full circle to work on the other side of the program and help create more stories like mine. The outcomes of these programs are all a part of a cycle of success. The education and resources we put in perpetuates a lifetime of meaningful, impactful work for and amongst the kids who need it most, kids like me. As the child of an intelligent, compassionate, and brave breast cancer fighter, I always wanted to help families, to create more successes about conquering adversity like my own. Here I am, a survivor, a foster kid, speaking to influential, powerful bureaucrats so that more kids like me can have access to career-morphing, life-changing education. More kids with disadvantaged backgrounds can be inspired and driven to pursue higher education, so that more kids can channel their inner strengths, their passions, and their pasts to change the world. Thank you to the CARES Act funding, Connecticut Youth Employment, EastCon, EWIB, and Board Workforce Summer Youth Employment Program. God, that's still a mouthful 5 minutes later. Thank you to everyone in this room for giving me the tools and resources to find and pursue my strengths so that I can make this world a better place, one spreadsheet at a time. I'd like to introduce the amazing Lieutenant Governor Susan Beisowitz.
All right.
Okay, well, Lucy and Tremaine, you both are the future, and you both have completely stolen the show. And I'm so proud to be here with the future behind me because that's what this program is all about. We have this transformational opportunity to invest a total of $7.7 million from the CARES Act and from our state agencies to invest in the future. And I think some of our speakers have alluded to all of the challenges that young people have had to face. Mental health challenges, family stresses, maybe family violence, being in families suffering with addictions. There's so much out there that our young people have had to go through, particularly in our urban areas. So this program for the summer comes at a great time when young people will have the opportunity to be supported, to get ready for future education, to get ready for the workforce. And what I love is Tremaine talking about some of the things that he did over the summer, which our young people will be doing this summer, which is helping other young people. He helped with homework. Think about online learning and kids not being able to see wonderful role models like the people behind me. So the governor and I are just so proud of this partnership with our nonprofits, with our local government, our state government, our federal government, and private businesses to support our young people and get them job ready and make our cities most vibrant places and to make our state better. So with that, I have the honor of introducing our awesome governor, Ned Lamont.
All right. God, it's great to be with you guys. We've been in budget negotiations, so I've been talking about our piece of the pie, so to speak, for a while. But I wanted you guys to know something. Everybody is committed to making sure you get the very best opportunity. Tremaine, I hear you. I know what a hell of a year it's been and all that Zoom, and that's why we're getting back in person. Lucy, we couldn't have done it without you and that track and trace you mentioned. You want to get people back in the game, the first thing we do is break the back of COVID. And I want you to know yesterday was the first day in months and months and months. We had 0 fatalities related to COVID. Fewer people in the hospital than ever before. The 3rd lowest infection rate in the country. And that's due to a lot of you and a lot of your good work going forward and wearing the mask and making sure you've been vaccinated, all your friends have been vaccinated. And now we got to get back in the game, hit the ground running. And these are the stories you've heard about right now. I mean, we're starting with daycare, the biggest expansion of child care and daycare in the history of the state. Make sure that your youngest brothers and sisters or mom be able to get back in the game. We have summer learning camps, free summer learning camps. We have 250 different not-for-profits who have signed up for that. Again, for your younger brothers and sisters, but maybe there's a role you can play there in terms of mentoring and helping some of these young folks going through. I love the stories I'm hearing in terms of the type of programs you'll be able to get to, the hands-on experience. I got to tell you, a lot of stuff happens in the classroom. I appreciate it, but I don't remember much from my Latin classes. But I really remember when I was a copy boy for the New York Times. I learned a lot about showing up at work. I learned why people did it every day and the pride they had in the work they were doing. I'd like to think you're getting some of those same experiences. Inspires you. I listened to Lucy's journey as she weaved her way in terms of where she wanted to be. Going forward from there, you heard about the workforce, and we're providing free workforce training spread across all our boards and community colleges going forward. Use this as an opportunity to change a skill, upgrade a skill going forward, and there are good paying jobs out there for you. And I love what you're doing right here. It makes a big difference, Hector. And Mayor, this is such a such a statement about Hartford, a statement about Connecticut, a statement about a place that's going to really put an emphasis upon each and every one of our young people and make sure they get the very best in life, and make sure they get the very best opportunity, and make sure you stay right here in the state of Connecticut, because there's where the opportunities are. And I am just really pleased that we've been able to double down, make the investments in these people, make the investments in programs like this, because we know it makes a big difference. Keeps you optimistic for the future after a tough year. Thanks, everybody.
So if the media has any questions for any of these incredible young people or any of our government folks, we'll take them now.
They're going to be available for off-topic after?
Sure.
Yep. All right. Well, you all have done.
Good telling everything.
Excellent. So everybody did such a good job. We're good with the media questions. Excellent. All right, Gov, you're up over there.